In this example problem, dealing with sectors of circles, we will find the arc length and the area of a sector of a circle. A sector of a circle is a fraction of a circle that's defined by a central angle, in this case 3 pi over 4 radians, whose vertex is the center of the circle. A sector of a circle has a couple properties, including the radius, which in this case is 13 yards. Every sector has two radii, which, like all radii of a circle, have the same length. And there's also a curved distance that's part of the sector of the circle, which is called the arc length, often abbreviated S. We'll begin this example problem by finding the arc length of the sector of the circle having central angle 3 pi over 4 radians and radius 13 yards. Finding the arc length of a sector is fairly straightforward if you know the formula. In radians, if the central angle is measured in radians, the arc length of a sector of a circle is simply the central angle times the radius. The central angle is often abbreviated or represented with the variable theta, the Greek letter theta. Arc length is that central angle theta times the radius, r. In this sector, theta, the central angle, is 3 pi over 4 radians. The radius is 13 yards. The product of 3 pi over 4 and 13 is exactly 39 pi over 4. This is an irrational number since it's in terms of pi. 39 pi over 4 yards is the exact distance, the exact curved distance called the arc length. We could approximate that. 3 pi divided by 4 is approximately, to the nearest tenth, 30.6 yards. The area, likewise simple to compute, provided you know the formula. The formula for the area of a sector, commonly abbreviated with an uppercase K, is 1/2 theta r squared. Again, theta is the central angle, r is the radius. In this case, 1/2 theta r squared would be 1/2 times the radius, or times the central angle, 3 pi over 4, times the radius, 13 squared. 1/2 times 3 pi over 4 times 13 squared, that product is 507 pi all over 8. And that's exactly the number of square yards that makes up the area of this sector. If we wanted to approximate that, 507 pi divided by 8 is approximately, to the nearest tenth, 199.1 square yards. For the sector of a circle having central angle 3 pi over 4 and radius 13 yards, the arc length S is approximately 30.6 yards, and the area in square units is 199.1 square yards.